Well, cheers everybody, and thanks for joining us for another virtual tasting at Hester Creek Estate Winery on the beautiful Golden Mile Bench, just south of Oliver, BC. I'm Mark Hopley, winemaker, and today we are joined by...
I'm Ruggeri, and I'm the assistant winemaker here at Hester Creek. Our Merlot is located in Block 2, and it is all hand-picked. And then once it's picked, we bring it to our crush pad where it is all hand-sorted and destemmed before brought into the winery.
Maybe let's talk about exactly what we did with this. So in the past few years, we've got away from crushing the berries, right? So just more, it's all hand-picked, as we mentioned, destemmed, but not crushed. So, like, what do you think that?
Yeah, so you get really whole berry ferment. So by not crushing the fruit, you actually get the fermentation happening within the berry. So it actually slowly releases, the fermentation sort of happens slower and it releases more fruit in the ferment, I find.
100%. And this is also made in our Italian style Ganimede fermenters, which I know we've alluded to those tanks in the past, but they're pretty special to work with.
They are. It actually makes our job, I think, a little bit easier. Ganimede fermenters allow for a much slower, softer extraction in a faster amount of time.
Yeah, agreed. And the nice thing about that is you don't get those overly grippy tannins. You get more of the velvety, softer, you get the color, you get the extraction that we want, early, which I think is a great tool. And as Rebecca alluded to, I think these tanks are an amazing tool for us to be consistent and pay the fruit its homage by letting that nose shine through and letting, we talked about not breaking the berries up as much. I think we're getting some nice, a little bit of cold soak perhaps early on, helping the aromatics. So you're dealing with some older vines, a lot of TLC in the vineyard, and then we pick our best barrels. So our whole winemaking team will sit down, all of us, and look at the components and how we want that wine to look. And we always skew it towards French oak in the reserve. So this is 75% French, 25% American. We're always trying for that oak integration to let the fruit show through and keep it nice and clean, but also be a wine that would be very food friendly. That I think the French oak in this is a little more subtle. The American oak, I think, brings some of those vanilla notes. Real versatile food wine. What would you pair this with?
Absolutely. I'd definitely go with a nice big juicy steak on this one, for sure. It's very smooth, a lot of fruit forward. It's very fruit forward.
That's the nice thing about Merlot. So, in my opinion, it's a very nice food wine because it's a little softer than, it has more, I would say, a little more elegance than some of the Cabernets. So, in other words, you can pair it with a lot more different food. You can put this with duck if you want.
Absolutely, yeah.
So one thing we maybe haven't talked about is how well this goes with earthy foods, like
absolutely,
vegetarian lasagna, perhaps with
grilled vegetables.
Yeah, zucchini, anything on the grill, kind of smoky. Really, I think the Merlot would pair really well with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is the 2018 vintage. Every vintage is going to be a little different. 18 was a very warm year, but I think we really saw a lot of phenolic ripeness.
We did. Yeah, it did get warm enough where we were able to see this come in quite ripe, which I think shows when you're smelling the wine, because you're getting a lot more of that baked fruit, a lot of baked cherry, which is you sometimes don't see in red fruit in the Okanagan.
Yeah, I think it's key that we pick on not only when the numbers are ready, but we're looking for those flavors. And as you alluded to, those kind of dried raisin, once those berries start to shrivel a little bit, they become a lot more expressive. And there's less water, more flavor, if that makes sense, in the fruit. Well, hopefully you've had a chance to sample this in your glass and perhaps taste along with us. The 2018 Block 2 Reserve Merlot from Hester Creek. And we want to say thanks for joining us and
enjoy.
Salud. Cheers.